Good morning, guys. It is bright and early on a beautiful Sunday morning. I've got a lovely stream of sunlight coming through my window this morning, and it is time to get ready for worship. There's the beautiful sun this morning, and my cute friend Otis are getting ready with me. And this is my old girl Pepper helping us get ready this morning. Say hi. Okay, guys, so while I do my skincare, I want to talk to y'all a little bit about something. So I thought about something the other day where when I was getting dressed for worship and just in general, some days going to work, going and having normal days, and running errands, what I was wearing and then how I was wearing it. And I didn't exactly like what my kind of answer was to myself. So I decided to kind of look into what the Bible specifically says about modesty. And now some of it is in the Old Testament, but the Old Testament is there for us to learn from and to have these stories to experience, or not experience those experiences, but to learn from those people's mistakes. And we get some examples of what we ought to do as Christians by looking at those. So the first one I want to look at, funny enough, is Adam and Eve. And in Genesis 3:7 and Genesis 3:21, one of those verses is discussing the aprons that Adam and Eve made for themselves. And then the 3:21 is discussing how God gave them coats. And in some versions it gives materials that they use, and in some versions it doesn't, but it's very specific about saying Adam and Eve made aprons, and then think about what apron covers on the body, and that God gave them coats, and think about what your winter coat covers for you. Like, that's a lot more fabric. It's a lot more coverage. And then in the Old Testament as well, we're given examples of what the priest wore. And the priests were the people that could go in and could talk directly to God. And so if we look from their example to the New Testament, that is the type of people we should be kind of learning from, because we are now the priest. We are the people that are teaching others about God. We're the ones spreading the Great Commission. So in Exodus 28:39 through 43, it's describing what the priests are wearing. And some of the times it's describing specific linens, different measurements, jewels, and accessories they have on. And sometimes it's just discussing the length of the fabrics and stuff. And so there's also Levi 8:7 through 9 and Levi 16:4 that are also describing those similar things as well. And then in 1 Chronicles 15:27, that's also another verse that has those things. And then in the New Testament, which is where we get a lot of our examples as what to do as Christians, today comes from, there are several examples, but they're given a little bit differently. They're given in the sense of more actions, because we have the Old Testament showing us and telling us kind of what to wear. The New Testament is telling us how to work on ourselves to also remain modest. So some of those verses, specifically with innermost and outermost modesty, 1 Timothy 2:9 through 10, 1 Peter 3:3 through 4. And then if you read the whole book of Proverbs 31, it's describing a woman and her actions, the things she's doing. It does also describe in 31:30 that the way she dresses herself and how she should keep herself from making other people sin, how she does that already, because that's the virtuous woman. And then in Proverbs 7:10, it's also giving you some of those examples. In 2 Timothy 2:9, it's also in context to 1 Timothy 2:9 that's giving those same examples. So I just want us to think about, whenever we're getting ready in the morning, we're doing our skincare, putting on our makeup, or if you're a guy, you're just getting ready. Just think about what God would want us to look like, how he would like us to present his temple, because that's what we are as Christians now, is the temple of God. And how our actions look, how our speech is, and how we make ourselves appear, through modesty and what we wear is a very big deal that we need to take more consideration into. I'm going to finish putting on just a little bit of makeup because it is freezing cold outside, and I'm probably wearing pants today. Winter wear is hard to get on. This is the final outfit. Y'all get to worship.